Hello, welcome to AutoMaster Training. Today we're going to cover the Payment Center and the different tabs that are available to you inside that Payment Center. The first tab that we're going to look at is the actual Payments tabs. This is where you actually take payments and modify anything that you need to on the account. Within your Payments tab, you have three columns. You have your what's happening on the loan currently, what you're currently doing, which is taking a payment, and what's happening in the future, which is after you take the payment, what the loan balances look like. Over here on the right, you also have some buttons that control what you're doing, reviewing payments, making notes, processing any ACH routines, and then anything else is saving and posting, closing the Payment Center. You also notice that there's a series of labels that are highlighted in red, which draw your attention to make sure that you're seeing pertinent information on this particular loan. At the very top, you have customer information, customer and co-buyer, and the address of that buyer, as well as who's tied to that loan. So the owner, the dealer portfolio, and the dealer and the portfolio, as well as the customer number and the account number. Over here on the right-hand side, you'll also notice that we have the loan status, whether that's an O for open or C for closed, the loan type, which is an AR, and the loan or finance, and the loan code, which is an AR. These will also be user-defined. So you might have CR for charge-off repo or AC for additional charge-off, etc. And then also the location that it's tied to. So this is typically like an L1, L2, or you can see user-defined options here as well, and the car that's tied to this loan. On the left-hand side, you'll notice that we have beginning balances and the current balance, which is the beginning balance is the original amount financed, late fee balance, accrued interest balance, and total interest due. The accrued interest balance is typically going to be 0% or $0. You'll notice that this number might be in here if the previous payment, the customer did not pay off all the interest. So you'll notice that if they make a partial payment and do not cover all the interest on that payment outstanding, you'll have a dollar amount here. This gives you how many days past due and the specific dollar amount, which includes your total interest due as well. Your payoff, as it is right now, and then your payoff with AC, LFB, and NSF. That is additional charges, late fee balance, and NSF fees. Typically, this is going to be the same dollar amount, but you'll notice that there is difference sometimes if you do have those fees accordingly. Your payment amount that it's scheduled, $191.96 in this case, and your interest per day or per diem dollar amount. So this is charged at $6.23 per day. These are any tags that are on the system, what type of loan it is. We have 78 payments that are semi-monthly, 24, 26 would be biweekly, 52 weekly, 12 monthly. Your APR as contracted, 28.896, which is probably contracted at 29%, but because of Reg Z was recalculated for you. The collector is assigned to the loan, the last payment date or recency date, the last interest date, which again typically is the same. This is if you're going to backdate the interest at all. You would have a different what they paid up to. Contractual date, this is going to be what their next contractual due date is, 5/7/2010, and the original loan sale date. Second column is going to be the actual payment, and what you're doing is taking a payment. You'll notice here that employee and drawer number are locked out, and that's because that's set up in security. If you're at a management level, you'll be able to change that drawer number. The source is going to be what type of, how you're going to take that payment. In this case, we'll do cash. We're going to do in person. Again, these are user defined. Interest date we're going to leave alone. And the tendered amount is $201.56. We're going to say that the customer paid us $205. We apply $191.96 to the loan, which automatically is calculated for you, and we're going to apply the late fee of $9.60. You'll notice here that because we've taken $205, we have $3.44 in change based on that. We also have a payment note, so you can type in a payment note here. Let's say Grandma is making payment. And the move in CR is the move in credit. So the move of $5 is going to move them to the next contractual payment due date. The credit of $177.36 is actually how much money they paid ahead of time on the account, so that they've actually accrued some additional credits so that the next payment of $5 will actually move them due. Interest is going to show you 11 days of $68.52 applied and 0 interest accrued today. On the right-hand side, you'll notice that this is what the payment will look like, or the loan will look like after the payment. This has your current balance and new balance. If I change this from $210 and I apply $200, you'll notice that the new balance changes right on the fly. Okay, you can actually do that before you actually hit Save Payment. Okay, interest, principal, and total paid breakout as well. And you can save and post that payment. When you post that payment, it's going to ask you, do you want to print this receipt, yes or no? That is a user defined as well. And when you post that, it will print that receipt out to your receipt printer. Principal only payment and voucher payment. These are actually checkboxes that happen. When you hit principal only payment, this will apply the entire amount to your principal balance and not advance your due date, instead of just applying it to principal and interest and late fees, etc. Voucher payment is anything that you want to affect the loan, but not actually take in as a cash or affect your cash drawer. Voucher payments typically are used for something like a referral fee. If you have a $50 referral fee, customer refers another customer to your account, you would give them a $50 credit, and that would apply as a payment, but as a voucher payment, and that shows up on your cash drawer report. Select customer, this is to pull up a new customer. Review payments, this goes through all your payment history on this account. So TR is transaction, interest date, payment date, contractual date, your loan balance, how much was tendered on the payment, how that was broken out, your receipt number, what type of payment, I is for in-person and ACH, a check number, the drawer number, employee number, and then all your NSFs, late fee and miscellaneous breakouts, and a miscellaneous code, if any. And you also notice the memo here, which is any memo that was tied to that payment. You also see that we have a memo field key, E, D, and PD. E is for employee, so number 2 took that. D is for drawer number, which is 99, and PD is past days due, which is 56. So when they took this payment, he was 56 days past due. The time, and then whatever was broken out, whether the principal only payment, what was past due, long and short, etc. You can also print this out, and we also look to see how many payments were made and how many payments are remaining on that based on what they've paid. Additional memo is for you to take a memo, any type of notes tied to that loan. You can also make notes right on the fly. So if you want to make a comment, let's say that you telephone landlord and you create a promise to pay. Sorry, telephone landlord, a promise to pay. Make a set of $175. So we're going to make a payment set. When you make a payment set, it's going to ask you for the dollar amount and a set due date, so you can assign that to today's date and in person. And that will actually make a payment set for you. So when you go into the payment center the next time on this account, you'll see that there's a set due for the date and the dollar amount. And that's our payment. Next, we're going to cover the actual tabs in our next video.